Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scaleway Sessions. I'm Diego, and this is a special episode today. We will be learning in public with David G. Simmons, our first external guest for these hacking sessions. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm David Simmons. I'm the head of developer relations at a little company called Otterize. And I'm going to say I'm a little terrified by this, but it's going to be fun. We'll all learn something, hopefully. And
Yeah,
let's all
absolutely.
give good vibes for the wheel landing on Rust today because I want to learn that.
Don't be afraid. Things will break, and we know that we accept that, and that's what makes it fun, right?
Cool.
As
Yep.
you said, learning along the way. And yeah, for people who are new to these types of episodes, we have a spinning wheel with a list of languages that we made sure our guest is not experienced with, and then we just spin it and hope for the language they want to learn first to be the one selected. So yeah, for this time, we'll show you the wheel in a moment. But I'd like to know what you do on your day-to-day job, because for this episode, we just put the question out there. Does anyone want to join us? And you said, yeah, let's do it. It sounds like fun. Why? What was that? What was your main motivation?
Well, I don't know. It sounded like fun. And had I thought about it for any length of time, I would have said absolutely not, because, being out here learning something brand new and making all kinds of mistakes is terrifying. But, you know, uh, learning out loud is kind of one of the things that I have talked about for years, and being able to kind of learn something new, and also just be able to admit that you don't know something, and there's a whole lot I don't know. Actually, it turns out I'm in a job right now that I know nothing about.
Really?
um, i've been
Tell me about it.
doing I've been doing IoT for 20 years,
Hmm.
and I've been doing sort of database and data for the last kind of almost 10 years, and suddenly I am now doing Kubernetes,
Huh.
and I know that much about Kubernetes, other than I know the word, and I know that it's shortened to K8s. And I have lots of people that I know that do it, and I know, sort of peripherally a little bit about it, but that's it. And this company is all about Kubernetes deployments, and doing, securing services inside
Yeah.
pods, inside clusters and all this kind of stuff. And I know nothing about it. It's been super fun.
Well, my friend, you've come to the right place with the right host, because I too know nothing or knew nothing about Kubernetes when I first joined Scaleway. And Scaleway, as a cloud provider, well, it's all in on Kubernetes. And yeah, I knew the word. I knew what it did, but yeah, no more than that. Never deployed anything there back
We're
then.
going to have to do another one of these where we do some Kubernetes stuff with Scaleway and Otterize, because that would be a lot of fun with two people who don't know much about Kubernetes, building and securing a cluster.
Whoa, that's gonna be interesting. Two people who know nothing about it, making it secure.
Right.
Great, yeah. Adding that to my notes, of course. We should definitely do that. And also, Chance has joined us here together because I also love doing IoT. In my case, I haven't done anything professionally with it, but I was just looking at my ESP32 stacks and my Raspberry Pis and my e-ink displays here and there. That's something that I love
So
doing.
that glowing orb right there,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a little IoT that runs on an ESP32.
Hmm.
And that on the air sign that I have up there runs on ESP 8266.
Yeah.
And I actually have one of those power distribution boxes that, you plug it in, it's got like 6 outlets.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of those outlets controlled by an ESP32.
That's so cool. Well, I need to brag now. Where's my finger? Here. That kind of matrix style display that you see there is
Mhm.
a couple of panels, LED matrices panels, that are hooked up with an ESP8266. I'm not sure if it's 32 or one of those, which is running WLED and it's connected to my Home Assistant server to control that whenever I'm live. And what else do I have here? I have an e-ink display that's actually color.
Oh,
So
nice.
yes, it's
And it
nice.
has an avocado on it. I love
Of
that.
course, because we're advocates, right?
Yeah.
And this one is running from a small Raspberry Pi Zero. So yeah.
I keep these on my desk. I've had this thing on my desk for since 2017, I think. It's I think it's an ESP8266. It might be a 32, but it's got a temperature, humidity, visible light, and CO2 concentration, an industrial CO2 monitor in it. And I've been running that for 6 years now, streaming all this data to a database. So I have a lot of data stored about it. I used to take it with me to meetings,
Yeah.
and because it turns out I was doing a whole bunch of research on CO2, and it turns out it's something like anything over about 1,500 parts per million CO2, human decision making is compromised.
Oh,
And I have yet to be in a meeting in a business in a meeting room where the CO2 concentration was less than 1,500 parts per million.
that's so interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
And I just realized that we've been saying weird things like ESP32,
Yeah.
ESP8266 without explaining that. But that opens the door to another episode that we can use to talk about IoT. What do you
Yeah.
think? And wouldn't you know
Absolutely.
it?
I would
Scaleway
love
has an
that.
IoT platform.
Don't
So we just need
don't
to find a date. And
don't threaten me with a good time.
absolutely, yeah, we'll find a date and we will do an IoT episode. What do you think
Cool.
about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So, with that being said, then why don't we just jump into today's conversation topic?
Yeah.
That is learning in public. So, I will be putting on screen our. Can you see that? All right.
I
That's our
can.
spinning wheel. Yeah, I think it's sort of visible.
Yeah.
I can make it bigger. Yeah, with the power of the web. There we go. So this is our fourth round of learning in public sessions, and this is the list of languages that we have pre-selected. We have
Okay.
pre-selected them because our guest is not doesn't have any or not any but well much experience with these languages. I know you have done some Perl in the past, right?
Mhm.
But some Perl and way in the past, from
Way in
what
the
I
past.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that qualifies. Then we have Haskell, we have Rust, the one you wanted to land on, F sharp, Zik, Elixir, and Dart. And you will see that Dart and Elixir have the same color. That's because it's an uneven list. That's on me. I need to work on the styling of this spin thing. But well, it works. It should spin. And the cool thing is that at some point, I will make a button, a physical button that I can press here, and that will trigger the HTTP response to the server that's connected with this web app. This spinning wheel is a web app that's connected via WebSockets.
So you know those big push buttons that you can buy?
Yeah, yeah.
Our company loves the one that they have one in their conference room that they push all the time. It's like an air horn going off. And so I went and got one myself and hooked it up to an ESP32 and Wi-Fi, and it now sits on the conference room table. And I built an app that looks exactly like the button in React, and I can push the button and it goes off in their conference room.
That's cool. That's something that actually we can work on. a physical
Yeah.
button to
Yeah.
trigger this spinning wheel. Why
Yeah.
not?
Know how to do it. Yeah.
All right. So let's do the drum roll. Do we have a drum roll thing on our? Oh yeah, we do on our streaming thing. Let me give it a try. Yeah.
There you go.
Lot of things, but yeah. Then there is spinning. Oh, 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 elixir. Dart. Oh, Haskell.
Haskell.
So close. So
So
close to
close.
rest. So, have no idea about Haskell, right?
None.
That's great.
I've heard of it.
Me too. Me too, but we'll see. At least after today, we'll know how to do a hello world thing.
Good.
All right, so are you ready to share your screen?
I am. Let me get a fresh. Do you want me to share my whole screen?
Whatever is more comfortable to you.
I'm sharing my whole screen. Y'all are in
Okay.
for a. Don't. I mean, I apologize. I will not pay for your therapy after seeing my whole screen.
Oh my.
Um, you're just going to have to live with it.
Okay,
Entire
then
screen.
people were advised.
People were, and you were, and you've been warned.
Yep. Okay. I can see you're sharing now.
Okay.
And then we
Oh
have
yeah, we have
infinite
infinite
windows.
recursion. I love infinite recursion.
Who
So
doesn't?
actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us to a different screen so that we don't have to see that. Oh, and here you get to see actually Otterize in action.
Huh. What a coincidence, right?
Yeah, that's actually a map. That's actually a map of my cluster.
That's something to check on our later, on a future
Yeah.
stream. Absolutely interesting.
So I'm going to bring up a fresh VS Code window,
That's a good idea. Yeah.
and I'm going to close all these out because I've got a ton of them running because I'm like I have ADD, so that's what I do. Okay. Oh, it's running in another window too. I did not plan this. I did not plan this. I swear. I did
Right.
not plan this. This is just what happened.
I wonder what your wallpaper is.
My wallpaper is not this, for
Okay.
sure.
So creating the project folder, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. I got nothing.
Okay, so what's the first thing you do when you want to learn something new or new language, new framework, new something?
I go to my arch nemesis, Google.
There's nothing you can do. All right, can you zoom in a little bit on your browser? Hello
Better?
World in Haskell, yeah. So you right away go and trust the first couple links. Okay.
Well, it's a tutorial on Hello World in Haskell. So how bad can it be, right?
Right.
I mean, it can be pretty bad, but
We will risk it.
oh, that looks
Okay.
all right. But I probably have to install
Something, right?
Haskell.
Yeah, I don't think you're using macOS. I don't think macOS has it by default. Maybe. I don't think so.
Sorry, my terminal's going to take a minute because I'm doing a whole bunch. I am terrible with tabs and too many applications open and come on. The Haskell compiler, it looks like, is GHC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do this a different way.
I'm gonna give that a Googling a try here. Actually, what I tend to do is
GHC
going to
is
the
not
official
found.
docs. Yeah, probably not.
Let's see if this works. This is how I normally do things. Okay, so I need this to compile it. So let's see if Brew can just install it for me.
One would expect it to be able to do so, yeah.
One would hope.
I'm reading through the official docs.
Oh, great. Of course, it's got to run brew update first. I'll make that a little bigger too so people can see that.
Yeah, that's good. Even better, yeah.
You can see I've been running Kubernetes commands. All right, let's make this thing go away so it stops doing that. Oh, run Haskell is another one.
So apparently GHCup is a universal installer. That is
What did you
able to.
find?
So if you go to the official docs, you'll find a link to GHCup. GHCup will install it on your system with a simple curl command. Or it works on WSL2 as well. Good. And you don't have to use root. That looks promising.
All right, let me see what I can kill off here so that it's not something's absolutely eating my system alive.
Yeah, live streaming, sharing screen, coding, yeah. And I can imagine that your VS Code extensions will also make it heavier on your machine, right? That's why I tend to keep it lean, keep it simple.
Well, it's probably only that I've got, first of all, we can quit that one. We can quit that one. We can quit that one. And we can certainly put an end to that one.
Oh yeah, that's a heavy one.
Why are they not going away?
Hopefully those are not private numbers.
Nah, I was just using it as a calculator rather than actually getting out a calculator.
I know. I use Google for that.
Let's just make stuff go away.
Meanwhile, if any of you watching this either live or afterwards wants to share your comments, your experience with Haskell, or your experience not learning Haskell and just giving up, please feel free to do so. We'd love to read your comments.
Why will this little Electron app not quit there? Force quit. Go away.
All right, it's doing something.
Dependencies for GHC. We're getting somewhere.
LLVM, right.
See, I have this hype button. Looks exactly like the hype button. And if they were in the office, they would hear it go wah at them.
Okay, we're getting there. GHC.
Those buttons are alarmingly simple. All they do is they have a little push button. They have a little momentary switch,
Mm-hmm.
and it just basically shorts shorts to ground, which
Yep.
sets off the sound. So I just put a ESP32 in the middle, and when you push the button, it triggers a pin which shorts to ground.
Yeah,
So
and makes it
remotely, I can now send it a command, and it will trigger the pin, short to ground, and off it goes.
make
Really,
it jail.
took no time
Right.
at all.
Yeah, they're really simple. Actually, the one I have here doesn't even have a. Well, I forgot spring. It has some foam to make the button bounce, so it's really
Oh,
simple. Right, so it's installing LLVM, and then it's installing what else? GHC itself.
hasn't gotten to GHC yet
Hmm.
because it's got to install LLVM first.
Right, and I can see you have a
Here we
M1,
go.
right?
Now it's installing GHC.
We're getting there.
Right, and this is all because, of course, we spun the wheel, and I had no idea what I was going to be
Exactly. Yeah, it's
programming in, so I couldn't pre-install it, or it would, this proves to everybody that we're actually doing this live.
it's part of a process. It's what people would probably do. Although I'm sure someone may have come up with the idea of creating a Docker image that you can use to experiment with.
I'm sure, but you never know. I might really like Haskell and want to just write stuff in Haskell.
Why not? When I did this, I did it in what was the language? Oh man, I forgot. The thing is that we found a bug in a library and we submitted a pull request to fix it. So yeah, it was a useful live streaming session that time.
Well, it was only 18 months ago that I decided I wanted to learn React. So I started teaching myself React. I built this little thing. This turns on. You can see my on-air sign behind me goes on and off.
Right, yeah.
And this turns off that glowing orb.
Yeah.
And there it's back on. And I have a fountain that's plugged into the controlled outlets, but I don't have any water in it, so I can't turn it on. And then, of course, I can go dark mode or.
Right. And what are you using there to make it run on your desktop?
I'm using Electron.
Yep.
Okay, it's installed.
All right. So what do we do next? Okay, it's there.
Let's go back and I guess we write hello world.hs, huh?
Apparently.
Now VS Code has to figure out whether or not it understands Haskell.
Or it will tell you to install an extension, right?
Probably. Let's see what it. Well, Haskell syntax highlighting
Sounds
and
interesting.
Haskell language support.
While that installs, how are you communicating with your lights there? Is that regular HTTP calls?
No, actually, so I started out when I first wrote the first one. I just used I used a UDP.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just send it a single packet over UDP that said either off or on.
Right.
But then I decided that it would be better and easier and more extensible if I just wrote each one to listen to an MQTT topic.
Okay.
And I run an MQTT server on my main server out in a
Right.
data center somewhere. And so the UI just sends an MQTT message to the right topic when you push the button, and the devices listen to their respective topics, and it all works.
Okay. Okay.
And I guess I could put a master on off switch on it so that I could click one and it would turn everything off.
Definitely.
All right, so we seem to have installed all of that. Let's close out these.
All right. Ready to go.
Let's do this. Okay, so we do main. Okay, I'm in doubt, so we'll just do automatically.
Looks
What
all
does that
right to
say?
me.
Okay, we'll install that. Main equals.
Whoops.
Oh. No, I don't.
What if I tell you that I just found a playground on Haskell's
You
official
did?
website? Yeah. Huh. So now we know it's a compiled language, right?
Yep.
Okay, now we have our binary. And wait, where's the drum roll? Drum roll.
Oh, it worked.
We're done. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, not yet.
And it obviously compiles into intermediate files. Oh,
Okay.
so I can run it two ways. So it's created. This looks like an intermediate file, and then, yeah, and then here's the final binary.
Right. So what have we learned so far? File extension is that HS. It's a
Yep.
compiled language. It
Compiled
creates
language.
at least one intermediate file, and
Two,
then
actually. It looks like
oh yeah,
it creates.
hi
Yeah.
and .o.
Yep. And that it appears that there's an interpreter.
Right. All right. In terms of syntax, it assigns values with an equal sign.
Yep.
What's that colon
No
colon?
semicolons at the end of lines.
Oh, good.
This looks like it's equivalent to an import statement, right?
Right.
It's bringing in IO so that it can print, and this is its print line
Right.
function.
So we're defining the main function, right? Equals to this.
Yes, is the main function is basically just to echo the, just to print hello world,
Right.
right?
So based on this real basic example, hello world example, how difficult do you think it will be to send an MQTT message?
That depends on whether or not there's an MQTT library for.
Shall we give that a try?
Yes, we should.
I mean, we have
Common
the
GHC language extensions. Oh God. All right. Never mind.
well, yeah, no.
Wow, that website is like really, really, really hard to run. So let's go back to our Google and do.
Apparently, there's
Uh,
one package
there's
for that.
another. There's a MQTT.
Yeah, there seems to be a way to do it.
I think that this one is probably the official one because it's at the hackage.haskell.org, right?
Yeah, apparently it is open source, and we have the GitHub URL from user Elpistere. Piterse. And last commit was done June 29th, 2020. And
June
it says,
29th, 2020.
yeah, that was the last commit.
Okay, well, this one is by Dustin, and it looks like it was last uploaded just a couple of weeks ago.
All right. That sounds like a good option then.
So let's go see what is in the. Ah, that looks pretty simple.
What was the name of the package?
Uh,
Or the URL?
it's MQTT-HS.
Okay. mqtt.hs. Right, so we just need to put there the URL,
Yeah.
the topic, right? And the message. Is that it? Wow. Do we need to install the dependencies manually? Yep,
Yep.
agree with you.
All right. So now we have to figure out how to install these.
Exactly.
All right. This is how I end up with 100 tabs open.
I know. I need to, in order to live stream, I need to close my actual browsers and open new
Yep.
sessions because, yeah, my computer wouldn't cope. So, how to install dependencies?
I wonder if this is the command right here.
Can you zoom in a little bit? It's a bit difficult for us to see. So it says Cabal. Do we have that
So
package
let's go
installed?
back over here and do.
Apparently,
Uh,
yeah.
okay. This should be faster now.
Yep.
Because it doesn't have to do all the other monkey business with all the other with updating itself.
Oh, yeah. The first step. Good. So, Brew, again, comes to save the day. What did Mac users do before Brew existed? Like, compile everything?
Yeah, I compiled a lot of stuff by hand. Before Brew, there was another one that's I think still around. Can't remember the name of it, but I mean basically the whole. I got my first Mac in 1985. I got one of the original 128K Macs. I still
Yeah,
have it,
some experience.
but I came back to Mac when
Hmm.
it was Unix based because I've been working on Unix for years before that, and so I knew, and I could get to a command line. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's try this again. I don't think that's quite the right app
Yeah,
because
that's
it
probably
installed it in
something different.
applications.
Cabal Club. Cabal Desktop. Cabal.
Let's see what is this?
And that's how you install things that you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, watch. This will reformat my hard drive and
Why not?
yeah, live on the edge.
Decentralized local first peer-to-peer group chat like IRC/Slack.
Is that what kettle is?
That's what you install, yeah.
Oh, I don't want that.
So yeah, maybe for later.
Yeah. All right, so let's go find another answer. This answer didn't work for me.
So apparently Cabal is a package that or a tool that you can use to install dependencies and actually create modules. But I'm not sure how you would install it. All install. Let's see. Yeah. To install the Cabal executable, you can use ghcub. Install the Cabal install package. Yeah, but how? Or download the source. Okay, you have binary downloads. Debian.
Let's just do this.
Yeah, that's a good start.
GH Universal Installer.
Okay.
Install the Haskell extension.
Where? On your VS Code? Or
Yeah.
well, yeah, why not?
Open Visual Studio Code. We're going to install the Haskell. Oh, it's installed.
Good.
Well, apparently it's wrong then because it says I should have everything I need if I install that, and I don't.
Yeah, the getting started is real short. Like, this is how you do, how you run a Hello World,
Yeah.
and then it directs us to Discourse, the subreddit, or IRC, which is fine, but maybe a bit more documentation. Dependency management.
All right. So, as a developer advocate, I will say that their documentation needs work.
Yeah.
It's
Luckily,
not great.
it should be open source, right?
Yeah, but this documentation opens in the Wayback Machine.
Oh
Right?
wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just opening that right now. Yeah.
That's not great.
There's an opportunity for contributions then if you are watching this and would like to help the Haskell community. You don't need to
Yes.
know any Haskell, actually just help out with the docs. That will help people get started and everyone will appreciate good docs.
So let's see if we have GH Cup over here. No.
So what if you ran the command that they have on the getting started?
Which one is that?
If you go to the Haskell docs again, and then you go to, where was it?
Getting started.
Where is it now? Right. Yeah. So getting started, and then under GH Cup Universal Installer,
Yep.
the first link will take you to the GH Cup page
All right. So
over
let's
there.
do
Yeah. And then we may run into some conflicts because some packages may already exist on your machine. Okay, that's smart. Cool.
All right. Well,
Wouldn't
let's
hurt.
just go default and
Okay, that's downloading. Good. So
all right.
recently I learned about DevPod, where you can have separate environments to work on your even your own company projects. For instance, you can pass in a GitHub URL, let's say, and it will create an environment for you to work on instead of installing everything on your local machine. It will spin up a Visual Studio Code web version, or you can use your local install your local install version. And yeah, you can interact with your project code from
And
your
what's it called
project
again?
editor, DevPod, POD. And it has been good. It has some things that they need to improve, but definitely a tool that I will continue to use for
I
this
might
kind
have
of
to look into
things.
that because
Yeah.
I'm old school, so I just install stuff, and that's not always the best thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, because the other way, the other approach that I had was just spinning up a new virtual machine every time that I wanted to experiment with something, which actually DevBot can do. There's a Scaleway provider, for instance. You pass in your Scaleway credentials, and it will be able to create a virtual machine for your project for that moment only. When you are no longer working on that project, it will stop that virtual machine. You can do the same with other cloud providers, or you can do it with Docker locally on your
Cool.
machine. Yeah, and I believe it's open source. Yeah. Dev. I will actually share the link here on the stream because I found it useful. There we go. So about the code, does the documentation say that you just need to pass in the URL, topic, and message, and that will be it? No need to create a handler, check errors, try catch, promises, anything like that?
In Haskell?
Yep.
I don't know. We can go look for that.
Yeah. Maybe we can sort of code things first and then see if they work out. Do they have an example?
Learn you a Haskell for great book, for great good.
I prefer it when documentations have, yeah, the getting started, the simple hello world, but then a couple more examples that are a little bit more advanced to that will help me or will help highlight the properties and the how much you can do with the tool, either a language or a framework. Just a bit more than the hello world, and then a more comprehensive example that goes into more deep stuff like connecting with a database and sending requests here and there that
Yeah,
I can then update.
this is not all that encouraging.
Yeah. When was
Revised
the last?
June 2000.
Wow. So Haskell, Wikipedia.
Interesting side note. I used to work here at the Los Alamos National Laboratory,
Oh,
and I grew up there, actually.
oh really?
And if you've seen the movie Oppenheimer, that's my hometown.
Huh. Some fucking did. What did you do there?
I was in the computer science group there.
Okay.
So was my mother actually, but I worked
Oh.
in the network operations center and wrote intrusion detection software for the classified networks.
Oh wow. That is interesting.
I wrote something called the network event recording device, which conveniently acronym was NERD. So for the longest time, my email signature file said "I am the nerd" because I wrote this thing. It was called the Nerd. So
1990. That's the first appearance of Haskell. 33 years ago. So yeah, it is not the greatest experience, but it sort of makes sense that some of the links
it
are
seems
pointing
like
to old stuff.
nobody has done anything with Haskell in a very long time.
Again, that's a great opportunity if you are trying to contribute to open source. Docs are appreciated by everyone.
Yeah,
Is it still installing?
it is still
Wow.
installing. Haskell may not be a good language to have on your wheel. It seems to be not
What if
really.
what if you try the playground, the third option on your navigation menu? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it does a
Was
quick
fast.
sort.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens if we do this.
And can you zoom in a little bit after that? Great.
All right. Let's change this to. And we'll change this to orb and this to off.
Yep, the package. The module is not found. Can you maybe dynamically import it from code? I know Julia can, because we did that last time during our last hacking session.
So apparently this playground, well, I'm not sure how to.
Let's see.
So community and documentation are apparently the exact same thing. No, they're a little different.
Yeah, I'm sure the community wants this to be a successful experiment and they are rooting for us. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard if you know nothing about the language to get started quickly. Because nowadays, for the tools that are popular, you have good enough documentation, good enough tools to get started. I can't imagine, and well, I don't have much experience, but I know that in the past you were supposed to read a book, right? Spend some time with the tool before even thinking about jumping into the first Hello World. It's a mindset, I think, that needs
Oh,
to change. Okay, we have it. GHCup and apparently Cabal is installed as well. So to start a new Haskell project, oh, that's cool. You can initialize a project. Yeah, maybe. All right. Okay, we have it.
okay.
So now what do we do? We need to install the network module, right?
Yes, that's what I'm attempting to do.
All right. And the network module should include the MQTT
It
package
looks like
as
the
well.
network module includes MQTT and the URI parser.
All right. We're getting
That's
there.
my reading of it.
Yeah. Whoops.
Okay.
So it's lowercase network.
Let's see here. So remember it made a .hi file when
Yeah.
we compiled?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a library file.
Okay. Huh.
So first it turned it into a library, then I think it created the .o, the object file, and then it merged those into the executable. If I had to,
All right. Makes sense.
so maybe it is lowercase. It seems to be.
Okay.
Hey, that looks better.
Promising. Right. Downloading, building. And starting. And installing.
And then starting and building again.
Well, no error so far, so that's good.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm wondering here is, will MQTT really be part of this default network package? Yes.
That's what I'm wondering. But I
Right.
mean, at least just from this notation, that's
Yeah,
what I would guess.
yeah. But that wouldn't be common, right? To have MQTT as part of the default network module or of something. Okay, could not find. Okay.
All right, so let's go look again at.
So, what was the library that you found, or the module that you found for
Net
MQTT?
MQTT.
Net MQTT. Okay. Net MQTT. All right.
So let's try this. Well, it's installing a whole lot of stuff now.
I missed the command you ran. What did you do there?
I ran cabal install net -mqtt, and there it was downloading it right here.
All right.
So, but there's a whole. I guess there's a lot of dependencies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Okay,
then
good, good. That looks good.
let's. I wonder if this will just list packages. Oh yeah, but let's do this. Network URI. So I guess we need to install that too.
Unless it installs it along with the client, the MQTT client.
Maybe, but we can always try. And then if
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
already
If it
installed,
fails,
it'll just say, yeah, we already installed that. Go away.
we are
Right.
debugging live. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dependencies.
Sure is. Oh, network URI right there.
There you go. Okay. So tell me about that MQTT server. Is that a local URL that you have there, or are you relaying from the internet back to your place?
No, I run a server called davidgs.com. That's my home server, and I run a whole bunch of stuff there. Um, in fact, you're in the DevRel Collective, and a whole bunch of services for the DevRel Collective run there as well.
Okay.
But I run a whole bunch of services there, one of them being an MQTT server.
All right.
Good Lord, it is installing everything, isn't it?
And of course, working for a company that does security stuff, you are pretty sure that exposing your home MQTT server through the internet is going to be fine, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. So for about 4 years, when a certain person was president, this is one of the reasons that I moved my website from WordPress to Hugo, a static site generator,
Right.
was that anytime I would make derogatory comments about our former president, I noticed a very large increase in the number of attacks on my server from the Russians.
All right.
So I've spent a fair amount of time, and as you might guess, coming from the secure networks at Los Alamos National Laboratory, I've spent a fair amount of time trying to harden my server. It's probably not perfect, and I'm sure somebody listening to this will go and try to break in.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I hope not. Um, but
Right. So it's not surprising to you when you
right.
see this kind of
And so
interactions.
this MQTT server is not password protected. So if somebody wants to start writing messages to it, that's fine. And if somebody decides that they want to start turning my orb on and off, then all I'll do is I'll go change I'll password protect it, and then nobody can use it anymore. So if you want to be the reason why the world can't have nice things, go start doing that, and I will lock it down further. Um,
Or they will send you Morse code messages.
maybe, but for the most part, I can't see it because it's behind me. So
True. True. Oh wow. That's a lot of dependencies. WebSockets, well, of
that is a
course, yeah.
ton of dependencies. I'm a little worried. So
Luckily, we are confident this will work as it is, right?
yeah,
WebSockets and WebSockets. Can you tell us why WebSockets is being used there?
yes, because underlying the MQTT network protocol is a WebSocket.
So that's what your React web app is using, right?
Yes.
Because the
So if I hit
browser.
this, my let's subscribe to the topic. It doesn't seem to want to connect. All right, let's.
Well, the light changed to red, right? The orb.
Doesn't seem connected.
Maybe someone already accepted the challenge.
Mm, nope, still works.
All right. Because yeah, you can use several protocols for MQTT, right? You can even
Yes,
use Bluetooth, as far as I remember.
yes.
So it's an interesting way to share messages between several devices. Well, one or several devices.
Yeah, and it's sort of at this point it's sort of the default message broker for IoT.
Yeah.
It's kind of what almost everybody uses anymore for IoT communication because uh, it's a really easy to use publish and subscribe method, right? So I can have any number of IoT devices subscribing to a topic, and I can also have any number of IoT devices publishing to a topic. Um, wow, this is just a ton of dependencies. This is ridiculous.
Crypt.
Oh, I guess X509 is, that's probably good. We do need TLS.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think about it, there's a lot of things that are happening under the hood when you are making a request.
Yes.
Only think about an HTTP request and all the parts that are involved in it, handshakes and all that, without
And
considering TLS.
certificate exchanges and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yes.
And then you have this working on top of that, considering the WebSockets and the TLS part. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Which is why originally I just didn't want to bother with it. So I just did, local UDP messages.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do broadcast UDP. So I basically assigned each device a static IP address.
Hmm.
And then I upgraded my Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi 6,
Okay.
and the two Wi-Fi 6 switches that I bought, it turned out both had bad radios and were
Ooh.
causing all sorts of problems. And so I finally had to get the vendor to give me two new ones.
Hmm.
And in setting that up, it changed the subnet, and it was just like I'm going to have to go through and redo each one of these things. I was like, I'm just done with that. So if I don't, if I don't care about what the IP address is, then I can just use MQTT because they can pick any IP address, they can talk to the open internet, they can receive messages,
Yeah.
and we're all good. So it was just easier to redo everything once for the new network and be done with it.
Oh, wow. Well, now you have all that experience.
Yeah, and I have two extra really expensive Wi-Fi access points that only sort of work because they have bad radios.
Well, if you install OpenWRT, you can do something else with them
I don't think
if they
they'll run
can.
OpenWRT.
Hmm.
Um, I could try, but um, they're the Ubiquity alien
Oh, yeah.
alien routers, and they're
Well,
really good. And when you get one that's like solid,
yeah.
it's bulletproof and it runs great, and it's got amazing throughput.
Wow. Finally.
And I don't know what the likelihood of getting two bad radios out of two boxes is, but I managed to hit that little bit of
Well,
lottery.
you did. And you
Hey, there
also
we
have,
go.
yeah, you also have installed the packages successfully. So let's see. What? Wait, what if you run this with a HC cup? Whatever cup? Where's the documentation I have now? I started with a clean browser session. Now I have like 20 windows.
Was it called HC Cup or
GH cup
GH Cup?
or GHC to compile it.
Nope.
GHCI.
So what does this say?
GHCI will enable you to.
Could not load module network MQTT client. It is a member of the hidden package.
If you're watching this recording afterwards and you are a Haskell expert or at least have some experience with it, we're sorry. We're just jumping into things. We are not reading that much. That's how we roll this kind of live streaming sessions. So yeah, please be patient. Stop yelling at the recording and leave a comment and tell us how you would have started this whole experiment.
Right. Because there must be a better way.
Definitely. What happens when you run that with GHCI? Set is not a module name or a source file. What if I ask ChatGPT?
Oh, you're going to ask ChatGPT. What does it have to say?
We'll see. It's thinking, it's generating. Install things. I'll assume things are installed properly. It's teaching me how to declare variables. Yeah, we will do that.
It seems that Haskell sort of assumes that you already know Haskell.
GHC. Well, apparently. What was, again, what was the name of the module that you installed?
Net-MQTT.
Okay. This one. Suggesting I use another one. Let's see if it exists, because, it sometimes has some weird dreams. It tells me to install MQTT-HS. And according to ChatGPT, well, things are easy after that. So maybe we can give that a try. MQTT-HS. Well, it's there. It has some examples. What do you say? Shall we give that a try?
Sure. What was it again? I was reading.
MQTT-HS.
So install that one.
Yep.
MQTT-HS.
Is it installing or did it install?
No.
Very well.
Errors. Could not resolve dependency.
Well, I think it's fair to say we gave that a try. We gave Haskell a try. This was a real world experiment with real world outcomes. Things are, well, not great when
Well,
you
we got
have.
Hello World, which was
We,
original,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
So when we tried to get beyond that, it was a bit of a failure.
I stand corrected. So yeah, Hello World example that was fast. In a couple of minutes, we got it running. The only issue quotes we had was installing the compiler. But
Yep.
once that was done, a Hello World ran straightforwardly, no problems at all. Then we wanted to do something. Honestly, it's more than the next step. I think it's like a jump or 5 steps ahead. Doing MQTT stuff is not your regular activity.
That's not
So,
often your second step. Yes.
yeah, let's be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, developer experience needs some work, and you out there, we all can contribute back to the documentation. As I've stated before several times during this live stream, everyone appreciates good documentation, and if you can contribute to that, you'll make someone or a lot of people happy across the
Yes.
globe.
Yes.
With that being said, I think that we can continue our experiments with MQTT in a future episode,
Yes.
hopefully using the Scaleway platform. So we'll do arrangements for you to give it a try and do something live and tell us more about your experience with IoT. What do you think?
Yeah. And I'd also love to do something where we take a Scaleway Kubernetes cluster and try to get Autorize working on it.
Absolutely. That's also on my notebook here for us to work
Cool.
on the future. So, with that being said, I would like to thank you for coming along today, for being our guest, and just learning in public with all of us.
Yeah, this was super fun. Thanks so much. It was I actually learned a lot and it was fun.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, audience, for sticking with us, for watching the recording. Leave us your comments. And yeah, we'll hope to see you next time on Scaleway Sessions. Bye bye.
Bye.